One thing that drives me nuts is hypocrisy. Now, in the conflict, people look at Israel and Palestine very differently. And that's one thing that shows a little bit of racism when it comes to Palestinians and Israelis, because definitely the death toll of Palestinians is a lot higher than Israelis from the start of the conflict, especially civilian casualties. Now, the hypocrisy doesn't just come from treating Palestinians differently to Israelis, but treating an occupied land like Palestine differently to a place like Ukraine, where parts of it are occupied, and looking at the aggression of an occupier differently. Now, this is more in line with looking at the United States and how they treated the Native Americans uh, by pushing them out of their land, a lot of genocide. So it's the equivalent of looking at Native Americans fighting back against those invaders or people who took over the land and thinking about, oh yeah, they did that. While it's kind of asserted that the massive genocide and land takeover was primarily the US. And what we're seeing is something similar along those lines. Now, one important detail here is Germany. Germany says never again about being anti-Semitic, but Palestinians are Semitic. And so by taking these measures, by targeting them in the streets, by making sure there are no Palestinian symbols, by trying to apply things very differently, targeting them, they are still being anti-Semitic. I think the main problem here is the hypocrisy, and particularly that a lot of these countries keep preaching to us about values. So I think let's try and take a step back and look at ourselves if we are really being hypocritical or not. Maybe you want to be. That's your choice. But then don't come to preach to me about morals and having a moral high ground. Do not support a genocide.